Hey, Pelvic Posse, and welcome to the Empower Your Pelvis Podcast. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Empower Your Pelvis Podcast. I'm Dr. Amanda Fisher, and I want to tap into a couple of our most asked questions. And on Wednesdays, if you follow us on social media on Instagram, I do a Wellness Wednesdays, top questions, ask me anything, nothing's TMI. And this came from one of our Wednesday questions. Question is, can specialized pelvic floor physical therapy also help with overall posture or position of how moms carry babies? Or can a general physical therapist do that? So the difference between, yes, your general physical therapist can look at posture and how you are carrying your body or how you're carrying objects such as kids or groceries or how you can do a farmer's maid carry. Where pelvic floor physical therapists specialize in that in our clinic is we like to see you do the activity. So if you are a mom, we want you bringing in your kids. We want to know the weights of your kids. We're going to give you weights if your kids aren't here in the clinic with us to see what does your posture look at like? How does it look when you carry weight? Give you the weight of what your baby and a car seat may be and look at that long extend like a suitcase carry or what it looks like if we bring baby up on your chest on the left side or the right side. Are you leaning back? Are you popping out a hip? How can we improve that? What does it look like if we lift weight over our head? Like we're putting things away in a closet or putting dishes away in the kitchen. Those are all things that we're looking at in our clinic. Now, when I was a general PT, I would more just hand over weights and wasn't really thinking about it being a baby per se. So I personally feel like just being in this world, a pelvic floor physical therapist is probably a better avenue to go to focus more on pregnancy, postpartum, or even our further along mommies or grandmas that are carrying that kind of weight. Another thing we do in the clinic is I want to know, since we're doing an internal exam to check out pelvic floor, I also hand patients, hey, how much does your baby weigh? Oh, 10 pounds. Okay, here's 10 pounds. I'm going to have you try to get up off the table and look and see what that pelvic floor is doing with 10 pounds. Okay, now we're going to look out sitting on the side of the table and going from sit to stand. What is that pelvic floor doing? And then standing, if we're standing and walking around the room, what does that pelvic floor look like with that weight? And we're actually looking at the pelvic floor muscles while you're doing those activities. And then, okay, that's your baby. What's your toddler weight? Oh, 32 pounds. Okay, let's see. What does that look like? Again, maybe not getting up off of the table, laying down to sitting because you're not probably in that position too frequently. But then what does it look like sitting, getting up with the 32 pounder or walking or carrying the 32 pounder and the 10 pound baby? We want to see what's going on and where the fatigue is happening so we can build up the strength, stability, and the endurance to offset that, to decrease any pelvic floor dysfunction or improve any pain, dysfunction, instability that you may be having. All right. If you have any questions like these, please reach out on our Wellness Wednesday. Pop into our question box on Wellness Wednesday, and then who knows, maybe your question will pop up or end up here on the podcast being addressed because these are so fun to answer in a longer length than 15 seconds on a story or a 60-second story because they go more in depth and more of us are actually experiencing them than not. We get the same questions almost weekly, asked just a little bit differently. So it's always good to hear a different or hear an explanation or an answer in more depth. So again, if you want to put that out on our social media, that'd be great. If you want to share this with a friend, we would absolutely appreciate it. And then as always, subscribe to our channel because the more of you that subscribe, the more that get to hear this wonderful stuff on pelvic health. And then it helps me in sharing my mission for normalizing pelvic health and making it a thing that we talk about regularly with our friends and family. All right, guys, peace out. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you later. Hey, Pelvic Posse. I want to thank you so much for joining into this week's episode of the Empower Your Pelvis Podcast. Can I ask you a couple of favors, please? Number one, can you like and subscribe to this podcast so that you can continue to empower your pelvis forever so that you will never miss out? Number two, can you leave us a rating and a review telling them how amazing we are and everything that you have learned about your pelvic health. And then number 3, if you haven't seen the video version of this podcast, you can go over to youtube.com/C/Empower Your Pelvis for all your visual learners out there. We have all types of great visuals in there for you to not only listen to, but to also watch. Thank you so much again, and make sure to give your pelvis some love. Until next time, peace out, Pelvic Posse.